It depends. If the agents are working for one of the Hong Kong call center and serving the Hong customer, I don't think there is much difference right now. But if the agents are serving the national call center, serving the customer from China, you can tell the difference. Somehow they were more authoritative. Yeah, because and on the other hand, the customer in China, some of those second city may not be that demanding as what we have been experiencing in Hong Kong. The mainland, I would say, this is also one of the weakness for those call center agents in the mainland. If they can have a good English capability, I think they would have a very keen competition of outsourcing project from the US, from Europe, as well as the UK. They would have a very keen competitor with India and or Malaysia or Philippines. But at the moment, I would think the English capability is not that up to the standard. There are many very fluent English-speaking people or agents in the mainland, but those people, they can speak good English. They may not be willing to work for the call center. That's the problem, because their English is not their mother tongue. It's not not even the second language. So unlike Malaysia, unlike Philippines and India, so although they have some sort of accent, but after all, it's relatively accepted. And so if China can improve their English capability, I think they would get a lot more, the outsourcing project from Europe and the States. It's very much on the mentality. As you can say, it's a good thing for those people to be obedient in China, but if most of the people do as instructed, they may not be good for the call center. We talk about empowerment for the agents. If you do things according to the instruction or the rules, so in terms of customer experience, they may not be that flexible to really help the customer. And the agents in China are still very passive. Still very passive. In a sense, they during the training session, they would more listen to what you are going to tell them rather than more interactive. So I think as they mingle more with the Hong Kong call center counterpart, I think that would be improving in the very near future. And the PRD call center and for the past 10 years, as I mentioned earlier, that they have developed into some region to support the Hong Kong enterprise to move the call center to PRD. So the common thing is that they, of course, they serve the Hong Kong customer and they speak the same language. And the difference is that I think the size of the call center is larger than all those remains in Hong Kong, because they have all those national call centers located in Shenzhen or in Guangzhou. So the size are much bigger than those in Hong Kong. And also as we discussed earlier, that the capability in language is one of the issues they are looking at. Previously, they look for the quantity, and then they build in some sort of quality assurance mechanism. So what we discussed earlier, that most of the call center in PRD had that mechanism in place. And I would suggest them to really look at the capability of English for those agents in order they can have more outsourcing project on that. It's a customer service and kind of a journey rather than a destination. So they change. They need to change. The change could be triggered by the customer behaviors change. They could be triggered by the competitor. So if the call center are reactive to all those changes, somehow they will lag behind. So some call center would identify some of the edge, and then they take the first step, and then they start to lead the way. So I would think it depends on what sort of call center you are doing. For example, you are an outsourcing call center. Once you have signed up a new client, you need to change according to the client's requirement. And if you are basically in-house call center, I would say the change would be on a slower pace. And some of the people feel like in a comfort zone. They are not that willing to change. After all, more government involvement or government support in the PRD rather than in Hong Kong, because in Guangzhou, the Guangzhou city government, they have a plan, and they have very favorable terms and conditions to attract those call center moving to China, not only targeting Hong Kong, but elsewhere in Asia or the region. And so with the government support, and also because more and more enterprise we realize that call center is one of the effective ways to conduct the business. So they would set up their call center. Previously, perhaps there are different smaller size service center in different cities in China. I would say there will be more national call center coming up. So centralizing for example, in Guangzhou, serving the southern China, and perhaps in Shanghai and Beijing. There are some companies. Of course, I think nowadays you need to have a China strategy in order to have your business growing. So some of the outsourcing companies are actually doing such kind of job for the China enterprise, either to have the outsource project or helping them to set up the call center.